So a royal expert is claiming that they know the truth that proves that Meghan was in fact banned from the coronation for King Charles and Queen Camilla. Ms. Angela Levin has said Meghan is a duchess in name only. She did not fulfill the obligations that came with that title. Instead, she stole titles for herself and her children and fled back to the USA with the intention of creating a branch office of the royal family in the USA. It did not work because neither Harry nor Meghan had the work ethic, money, intelligence, larger-than-life personalities, and personal qualities that would have allowed them to succeed. It was stated recently that Meghan and Harry work an average of 1 hour per week, and that the people they hire are expected to do the real work, while Meghan comes in at the end to spew the word salad du jour. And then Harry is very emotionally disturbed, and he's not very bright either. Without the money the palace had, without their PR teams that were so good at controlling Harry's image and what we saw, Harry cannot be anything except a drugged-up bully that sees himself as a lot more important and relevant than he really is. Now, when he wants to, Harry actually can exhibit some pretty good manners, but without his royal status, he doesn't have anything to offer anybody. If Harry were not a royal, maybe he could have succeeded as some type of service person. But the thing is, Harry lacks the intellectual capacity and the motivation to succeed at anything at this point. And as for the mattress actress, well, she was just on the hunt for a high-profile man who she believed could give her all the money and all the fame she wanted, a very comfortable lifestyle with very little to no effort on her part. Now, Meghan did do research on Harry and his late mother so that she would know how to dress, how to act, what to say, what perfume to wear. She figured she would just have to keep up the act until she could successfully trick Harry into marrying her. I mean, Harry is dumb enough to fall for that, but I don't think Meghan really understood how emotionally disturbed he is. And Meghan also did not do her research on how the money and the hierarchy of the monarchy really works. So after they got married, Meghan figured out that he only had a few £1,000,000, but he didn't have the money that his father and brother enjoyed. See, future kings are always going to have more than the spares. The line of succession dictates where specific royals fall within the hierarchy. And that system is also responsible for their wealth, their status, and their standing. Meghan simply did not understand how the system works, and Harry didn't teach her anything about it either. He probably didn't know himself. Meghan discovered after they left the system, or right before they left, that once they left the UK, they wouldn't live nearly as well as they could within the UK. So Meghan just assumed that now King Charles would pay for a luxurious lifestyle for the two of them just because she married Harry. And Meghan whined that she didn't get a paycheck for her royal duties. But see, she didn't consider the very low cost of living they enjoyed. Meghan simply did not appreciate the clothing allowance or the 2 houses they enjoyed at little to no cost. Meghan didn't consider the convenience of just saying that she needed a car and driver, and automatically the car would be filled up with gas and the driver would just appear and take her wherever she wanted to go. Meghan wasted so much money. I mean, now King Charles had to say at one point that he was not an ATM. And then once they left the UK, once they were no longer working royals, of course, the money stopped coming in. It's not like all of a sudden Charles just up and cut them off. That's not what happened at all. He gave them millions of pounds in setup costs. But still, it's never enough for Meghan. She always wanted more money, more jewelry, more publicity, more fame, and everything that came along with the life she believed she could live in Hollywood with Harry. Now, the first big clue that Harry and Meghan had no idea what they were getting themselves into was that Oprah interview. What a disaster. Harry and Meghan just made themselves look like a couple of petulant brats. They went on TV to whine to billionaire Oprah that King Charles, Harry's father, would no longer pay for their luxurious lifestyle that they lived in the UK, that they couldn't expect to live that way in the US anymore. How unfair. See, at that point, Meghan was over 40, and she never became the big star that she wanted to be. Harry wasn't far behind, and he had never really had a real job that required him to do anything difficult. Their sense of entitlement was off the charts, and that's what they demonstrated. And their verbally abusive behavior blew up in their faces, and that started the process that made them worldwide pariahs. Harry and Meghan haven't done anything of value to help anybody, and they have even made simple events into big problems for the royal family as well as themselves. Harry and Meghan haven't been honest about anything at all, and most people do not like them because they cannot trust them. Harry and Meghan have been so abusive towards the monarchy and Harry's family, and they have not at all managed to build a life for themselves separate from the royal family. They still rely on that connection. Meghan despises everything that the royal family does and everything they stand for because she's not the boss and she'll never be the boss, and they don't let her just do whatever she wants to do. Now I think Meghan and Harry are figuring out that nobody's interested in what they do. Nobody cares about what they have to say if they do not maintain their connection to the royal family. And if they're real, it looks to me like Archofficial and Invisibet are in the exact same boat. Now, Meghan used People magazine to announce that Archie and Lilibet are supposed to be referred to now as Prince and Princess. Again, most people couldn't help but laugh, because everybody knew that nobody would ever refer to them as royals or use those stupid titles because there is no such thing as royalty in the US. Nobody refers to Harry as Prince Harry anymore, actually, because they were the ones who wanted to leave that life. They left the UK, they didn't want to be royals anymore. The reality of the situation is that they are just the Mountbatten Windsor family and they live in Montecito. The titles they insisted upon using for their invisible children are going to make them open to ridicule, again, if they are real. Kids at school and bullies on the playground are going to have a field day. They're going to be asking why in the world those kids refer to themselves as Prince and Princess. They don't have anything to do with the rest of the family, and they don't live in the UK. Now, in the UK, the titles would have meaning, but in Montecito, California, I don't think so. I could easily call myself Princess if I wanted to. There's no law against it here. Now, people would think I was insane if I started walking around calling myself Princess, but it's not like it would mean anything. Instead of giving me clout, though, it would really just give me problems. Somebody out there would want to take me down a notch or two. There is nothing to be gained by acting like you're better than everybody else. Meghan wanted the money, she wanted the titles, and she wanted people to wait on her every second. Meghan really believed that she could just go into the royal vaults whenever she wanted to and get whatever she wanted. She did plan to do that and then move to the USA with all the booty. Now that Meghan understands the life that she wanted only exists in her crazy brain, she has to live the life that she deserves. And you know what? I don't think she wants that life. They simply do not have the money or the benefits or the status that they would have enjoyed if they had just stayed in the UK and done what was required of them, which I'm sorry wasn't all that much. They haven't been able to create the life that Meghan thought they would be able to because that life was never sustainable. It was never practical. And now Meghan and Harry have just painted themselves into a corner. There's not a lot they can do to get out of this current situation. Meghan is never going to have the life that she wanted or that she imagined with Harry because they simply do not have the money, they don't have the brains, and they don't have the big, vivacious personalities necessary to make that dream come true. Meghan has spent a ridiculous amount of money that they do not have, and the royal family is trying to protect Harry. They're trying to save him from himself and from that greedy wife too, who is going to leave him as soon as she can be sure of getting as much money as she possibly can from Harry. I do not believe, though, that Meghan is going to be as wealthy as she expects to be because Harry's assets are severely limited. And of course, his family is still going to protect him because at the end of the day, he is still a member of the family. Meghan thought that they were going to be able to make so much money selling their royal connections, but I don't think their income is anywhere near what she thought it would be, and well, she's spending it faster than they're making it. The authors, the PR people, the other employees, including their security people, have cost them a lot. And the house they live in that's got that 16 bathrooms and other areas that need to be cleaned, maintained, landscaped, etc., that requires a lot of money. It's just not sustainable on their actual income. They lost Sunshine Sachs because they didn't have the money to pay them, and the lawyers that file all those lawsuits are going to disappear once they don't get paid. As far as I can see, Meghan and Harry are just teetering on the edge of a cliff when it comes to their finances and, in Harry's case, mental well-being. Meghan is a duchess in name only, and the same can easily be said of the Prince and Princess titles that Archofficial and Invisibet could use. The thing about it is, the titles are just titles. They don't have the economic resources or the personalities necessary to make sure they can carry the clout necessary to make money off of the titles. So Prince Artificial and Princess Elizabeth are going to be laughed at if they use those titles in the US. I mean, Harry and Meghan are already viewed as a laughingstock all around the world. They have made themselves into quite the joke. They don't have anything meaningful to offer. And in fact, Harry better be praying that he doesn't get deported for drug abuse and lying on that visa application. While the real royal family builds a meaningful life for themselves and their kids, Harry and Meghan do not understand how to build a meaningful life as ex-royals in the US. Harry has never really had to pay his own way, and he's never even had to think for himself for that matter. He's always been told what to do, what to say, when to do it, when to say it, where to go, where to stand. Everything has been done for him. So it looks like Harry simply does not have the tools necessary to build a meaningful and content life for himself and his family. And Meghan has neither the money, the fashion sense, the manners, or the intelligence to really thrive in the world that she is so desperate to be a part of. Meghan and Harry's lifestyle and status in the US has already come crashing down around them. The lifestyle they are so desperate for cannot really be achieved in either country. They truly have cut off their noses to spite their faces. Nobody trusts them, nobody likes them, even in their families, and they simply do not have the money to live the lifestyle they want. Meghan has become quite the pariah. She couldn't even come to the coronation without looking like an idiot or a hypocrite. As the song says, their goose is cooked, their reputation is shot. They simply cannot have the life they want to live in any country. And Meghan cannot use either Artificial or Elizabeth to sell merchandise for money, because nobody is interested in Brand Sussex anyway.